Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. We are, yep, that's right. Good afternoon, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I am A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, you, thank you so much for coming in and watching. Today is, of course, Sun's Day, Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday? Hey! The Father, the Son, you know, and the Holy Ghost. So, yeah. So grab your communion crackers and wine, and let's get into this show. This, it's March 29th, 2026. Next Sunday is IOYO and Easter, yeah. So this show is about interesting and important happenings that occurred to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Starting with the year 502, King Gudobar of Burgundy delegated royal power. Okay. 845, Paris...
Isn't Gouda a cheese? It's a bar of cheese.
True.
Gouda bar.
Yeah, well, it's Gundobar, actually.
Okay.
King Gundobar, but Gouda, you know, I don't know, maybe he sounds like a Munster, I'm not sure, you know? But, these jokes aren't really that sharp.
No.
So, they're full of holes like Swiss. You know?
They're getting worse.
845, Paris was sacked by Viking raiders, probably under Ragnar Lodbrok, who collected a huge ransom in exchange for leaving. It's telling me an image search this, but I have here one image. This is just a painting of them invading, and they're getting shot by arrows and everything. But obviously, the invasion was successful.
Arrows raining down on them.
Yep. Our arrows will blot out the sun, then we shall fight in the shade. Remember that scene from 300?
Yeah.
I have a couple more images here. Like they say the same thing. I just want to showcase some more images. You know, there's another painting. That's a good one though. Like look at all that. Yeah, you can see like there's ladders. They're already up on the walls. Like man, they got wrecked. 1139, Pope Innocent II issued the bull Omni Datium Optimium, in which he endorsed the Knights Templar and approved the Templar rule. What was that rule? The Templar rule. Or actually maybe it's not like like a code. Maybe it's Templar rule as in they're in power, they're ruling.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. 1461, Wars of the Roses. Battle of Towton. Duke Edward of York defeated the Lancastrian army, deposing King Henry VI and Queen Margaret of Anjou, and proclaimed himself as King Edward IV. Okay. Bringing a temporary stop to the War of the Roses. To the Wars of the Roses. Okay. 1516, Venice compelled Jews to live in a specific area, establishing the first Jewish ghetto in the cities of, the Carnegie district. And it's telling me in the ghetto, but here we have an image of said ghetto, and that doesn't look too bad. I mean,
they forced him to live in a certain area, and immediately it was a ghetto.
Yeah. We have more images of this. This shows like more expansive of the Jewish ghetto, like an artist renditioning here. But specifically here, this actually has what appears to be a zoning map.
Oh.
So ghetto Vestigio, ghetto Nuovo, ghetto. So they have water, and they have like different blocks here. So everything in this brown highlighted area was the ghetto. So. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1549, the city of Salvador de Bahia, the first capital of Brazil, was founded. And now it's Rio de Janeiro, I believe, correct?
Yes.
1632, the Treaty of Saint-Germain was signed, returning Quebec to French control after the English had seized it in 1629. So this was 3 years after it. 1638, we have the first permanent white settlement in Delaware. Fort Christiana, now Wilmington, was founded by Swedish Lutherans. In part of the Swedish colony of New Sweden on the Delaware Peninsula. And we all know about New Sweden. New Amsterdam became New York. Mm-hmm. It's telling me to image search this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that really quick. So let's see here. Images. Oh yeah, right here. This is what I wanted to read. It's bigger in this image. What the heck? So hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Oh well, this is a whole thing. Fort Christiania, also called Fort Altina, was the first Swedish settlement in North America and the principal settlement of the New Sweden colony. Built in 1638 and named after Queen Christiana of Sweden, it was located approximately 1 mile or 1.6 kilometers east of the present downtown Wilmington in Delaware, At the confluence of the Brandywine River and the Christiana River, approximately 2 miles or 3 kilometers upstream from the mouth of the Christiana on the Delaware River. Okay, that's cool. 1673, English King Charles II accepted the Test Act. Roman Catholics were excluded from public functions. I think this was still when the Church of England was still in power in England. So, they don't want the Catholics. They very much not like each other. 1692, King Gustav III of Sweden died after being shot in the back at a midnight masquerade ball at Stockholm's Royal Opera just 13 days earlier. He was succeeded by Gustav IV Adolf. We spoke about this, I believe, 13 days ago when he got shot. Because I remember this masquerade costume.
Oh, okay.
And I remember somebody getting shot at a masquerade party and then dying, a week and change later, which is 13 days. Actually, that's two weeks and change. So, actually, no, just under 2 weeks.
Yeah, day under.
Yeah. 1795, Ludwig van Beethoven, at the age of 24, had his debut performance as a pianist at the Burg Theater in Vienna, Austria.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're going to be talking about Beethoven.
What age again?
24.
Okay.
Yeah. 1798, Republic
Pretty
of...
damn young.
Yeah, that's, pretty young. 1798, the Republic of Switzerland formed, and it's telling me to image search this, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Republic of Switzerland, images. Oh yeah, so this, it's a convoluted map, like, as part of me trying to find images for the thumbnail and whatnot. I wanted this to get in there, but it's way too much going on here. So I left it for this moment to showcase you guys. If you want to pause the video and look at all this, or look it up yourself. But let's see here, Government of Switzerland. Let's see if this is going to give me any bigger thing to read. No, it's not. It says Government, Federal Republic, Directional System, and Direct Democracy. Oh, and I'm not going to read the rest, but yeah, really cool. 1799, New York passed a gradual abolition law saying children of enslaved mothers are born free, but still owe free service to masters until they are 25 if female and 28 if male. Well, then they're not born free now, are they?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. I mean,
especially when you take in life expectancy back then.
That's probably what they're banking on. They're like, oh, hey, we're going to grant you freedom on conditions, and they're hoping that they're going to die before the conditions.
24 and 28, come on.
Yeah. 1804, thousands of white people were massacred in Haiti. Status quo with that.
Haiti has just had nothing but a violent, horrible history. I won't say nothing, but everything I know of it just seems to be awful.
Well, what's the name?
Day.
What's the name of the country?
Haiti.
Hate.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, they live up to their name at least. 1806, construction was authorized of the Great National Pike, better known as the Cumberland Road, becoming the first United States federal highway. And image search this as well. Am I boring you with my historical
yes.
stuff?
You put me to sleep.
Ah, well, that's unfortunate. Oh, here we go. The National Road, 1818 to 1838. The first section. Let's see if I can bigger this.
So
actually,
how far did it go? Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, look at that. It went a long ways.
The first section of the National Road was completed in 1818 from Baltimore to Wheeling. This route was also called the Cumberland Road and was soon the most heavily traveled highway in America. The grading and surfacing made it by far the most comfortable road to travel for its day. Stagecoaches and commercial wagon traffic was heavy, with teams of wagons carrying grain and produce from the interior to markets in the east and manufactured projects to the west. Many taverns and inns catered to travelers, where the latest news and politics were exchanged around the roaring fireplaces. The road was completed across Ohio by 1828, across Indiana by 1832, and completed to St. Louis in 1838. In the 1840s, the road was continued to Jefferson City in Missouri. The towns along the National Road grew rapidly and became some of the most important trading centers in America. Baltimore benefited the most as the eastern terminal of the National Road, rivaling New York, Philadelphia, and Boston as the prime seaport of the United States. The same general route of the old National Road is very close to U.S. Highway 40 and Interstate 70. So cool.
I wonder when they said grading and surfacing, what kind of surface would it be? Still just hard dirt? Or I wonder what they use.
Probably cobblestones.
Well, it could be. You're right. It wouldn't have been asphalt.
No, not yet. 1809, King Gustav IV Adolf of Sweden abdicated after a coup d'etat. At the Diet of Porvo, Finland's 4 states pledged allegiance to Alexander I of Russia, commencing the secession of the Grand Duchy of Finland from Sweden. We spoke about this guy, King Gustav IV Adolf of Sweden, like not too long ago. 1827, 20,000 people attended Ludwig von Beethoven's burial in Vienna, Austria, on the anniversary of his debut.
Yeah, no kidding.
That has to have been planned on purpose. You know?
Well, once he died, they could schedule. Well,
yeah.
another 5 or 8 days. It's his,
Well, whenever he died.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
This was 1827. So when did he?
I'm just saying, if it was somewhere in the neighborhood, they could wait. I guess.
March 26. So that was 3 days. Wow. So it almost worked out perfectly. So,
yeah.
And it's saying liver disease. And didn't we talk about, like, a couple days ago, they
Sounds like he did a lot of drinking.
Yeah, well, but didn't we cover a couple days ago, they examined one of his hairs, and they discovered that he had some disease or something, or whatever. You know what, let me...
There's something back there, I can't remember quite what.
Let's see here.
I'm not even sure if it was him.
Here you go. New DNA analysis of composer Ludwig von Beethoven's hair reveals he probably died of cirrhosis of the liver and hepatitis B, but doesn't explain his deafness. So, wow. And that was
right, I remember his deafness. That was surprising.
Yeah. Well, this was, and I remember this because this was this month, the 22nd. This was just 7 days ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago as well, 2023.
Yeah,
when
this
this happened.
I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah. 1831, Bosniaks rebelled against the Ottoman Empire in the Great Bosnian Uprising against what is now Turkey. 1847, 12,000 U.S. troops captured Veracruz in Mexico. The Mexican-American War, United States forces led by General Winfield Scott took Veracruz after a siege. Hey, the Scots. 1848, Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls.
Stopped flowing for 30 hours due to an ice jam in the river upstream.
Man.
Yeah.
How long?
30 hours. Yeah, so hold on a second. I got to catch up with the picture. So that's the old capital of Brazil, whatever it was.
Okay.
So, and here we go. This is a photo of the Niagara not falls, although this looks like it's frozen over because you can see. So maybe that's not an appropriate photo there. But let's image search this because there were other images that I wanted to use, but they weren't as striking. But like this one was the original one that I was going to use. Look at that. That's Niagara Falls.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. And yeah, this is the image I use right here. It's an ice jam on Lake Erie caused the Niagara River to run dry, silencing the falls for 30 hours. The riverbed was exposed, allowing people to walk where water typically thundered. This is the only recorded natural stoppage. So, wow.
So people actually walked out there? They're
yeah.
idiots.
Well, people are stupid, you know. So, 1849, Great Britain formally annexed Punjab after defeat of Sikhs in India. The United Kingdom annexed the Punjab. 1852, Ohio made it illegal for children under 18 and women to work more than 10 hours a day. Well,
yes.
Yeah. 1857, Sepoy Mangal Pandey of the 34th Regiment, Bengal Native Infantry mutinied against the East India Company's rule in India and inspired the protracted Indian Rebellion of 1857, also known as the Sepoy Mutiny. 1864, Great Britain gave the Ionian Islands back to Greece. That's nice. 1865, between now and the 9th of April, the Appomattox Campaign, Virginia, resulted in 7,582 deaths. So a military thing here. During the American Civil War, federal forces under Major General Philip Sheridan moved to flank Confederate forces under Robert E. Lee as the Appomattox Campaign began. And I don't really expect you to know this, but does the name Sheridan remind you of anything?
Sheridan Hotels.
Well, you're right with that, but I was going more along the Sheridan tank.
Sherman tank?
No, Sheridan. Sherman was a tank, but the Sheridan tank, I believe, was the...
Well, Nolan tank is a Sherman.
Well, Sherman, that was World War II.
Yes.
The Sheridan, I believe, was Sheridan tank. It was either in Korea or Vietnam. I forgot which one. But this is it.
I'm not familiar with it at all.
This is the Sheridan, 1965, so this is Vietnam.
Vietnam, yeah.
So this is the Sheridan tank, obviously named after that General Sheridan.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of tanks, you know, like the
ships.
Like ships and such are named after either.
Well, it depends.
Aircraft carriers are named after presidents, and there used to be a code like aircraft carriers were named after. I think, historical figures like presidents, battleships were named after states, and then like other things were named after cities. Like there's the St. Louis, but then there's the California, the Texas. We've been on the Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
The Midway is named after the Midway, obviously, Midway Atoll. From World War II.
Yeah, I know.
So, but the Sheridan
How does
tank.
that fit though? That's not a state.
I know that's one of the outliers there. But I just find it interesting.
It's probably so important that they had to name something after it. So obviously that changed the whole war, or with Japan.
1867 here, British North America Act, Canadian Constitution was given royal assent. Queen Victoria gave royal assent to the British North America Act, which established Canada on July 1st. All right. Oh yeah, that's right. Canada's Independence Day, or their official
Independence
day,
whatever they call it. Yeah.
They
call it something else.
They're not completely and totally independent like we are, or Australia. Canada still, to a certain extent, does answer to the British Crown. Like they are independent, but with hooks.
They have some kind of tie, but I don't know how much they have to answer to them.
Yeah, they still got to do it though. 1867, U.S. Congress first approved the building of the Lincoln Memorial. Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, 1879, Anglo-Zulu War, Battle of Kambula. British forces defeat 20,000 Zulus.
Wow.
And I think that was one of the battles where the Zulus showed up with swords and spears and
down.
Yeah, and they just got massacred. 1882, the Knights of Columbus chartered for Catholic men. The Knights of Columbus was established, so it sounds like one of these gentlemen's clubs or whatever.
Knights of Columbus? Not a gentleman's club.
Well, not gentlemen's club, but
it sounds like a Catholic club then. It sounds like it.
Yeah, or like
I didn't realize that.
or like the Freemasons, one of these clubs.
Yeah.
So, 1886, John Pemberton brewed the first batch of Coca-Cola in a backyard in Atlanta. Yeah, and thus it begins. 1 year later, Japan adopted the gold standard. Good. 1901, Edmund Barton was elected Prime Minister in Australia's first federal election. Nice. 10 years later, the M1911 45 caliber ACP pistol became the official U.S. Army sidearm. So right there, that sidearm right there, pistol, which I think is still to this day the official sidearm.
It may be.
So I mean,
it looks familiar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been in every. Hold on a second.
Is that the one you cock it from up top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, a lot of pistols do that.
Yeah, true.
So, although the Luger has a thing that you pull up like that. So.
Really?
Yeah. Luger. Let me show you. Right here. You see this? Right here. You see that? This shows you. You pull a little wheel thing up. So. Yeah.
That doesn't look too practical.
Well, it's very the Luger's German engineering. Is not anything to sniff at. 1912, Captain Robert Falcon Scott, another Scott, stormbound in a tent near the South Pole, marked the last entry in his diary. The end cannot be far. Well, that's that can go either way. He came back.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Sounds like he's not coming back.
Well, actually, no. March 29th, hypothermia, 1912. And this was not... So, yeah, you know what? You're right. You got it. He dies tomorrow. So,
he didn't make
well.
it. The end is near. He wasn't wrong.
Well, I thought that was more of like the end of the expedition, but I guess he just perished in the ice. 1924, Bavaria and the Vatican reached an accord. I'd like to know the details of that. Do you know what? I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that really quick because we still have a little bit of time. So let's see here. Bavarian Concordat, 1924. Okay. Between the Free State of Bavaria and the Holy See, replacing the Concordat with the Kingdom of Bavaria, which had fallen in 1918. Oh, so that has to be after World War I. Negotiations were led by Apostolic Nuncio to Bavaria, Eugenio Pacelli, the future Pope Pius XII, under the terms of the Article 2 of the Reichskonkordat. The Concordat is still in force.
So it's a peace treaty?
Well, it's an accord. It was like, if I read this correct, this is like to reestablish the country after it had fallen during World War I, bringing it back up. Because replacing the Concordat with the Kingdom of Bavaria, which had fallen in 1918.
Okay.
So they're replacing the Kingdom of Bavaria with the Bavarian Concordat. So I'm going to add this in the underbar section here really quick. Bavarian Concordats. So if you'd like to read more of this, check this out in the underbar of the description after the live stream. It'll be there. 27, Henry Seagrave raced his Sunbeam to a record 203.79 miles per hour at Daytona. The Sunbeam 1,000 horsepower vehicle broke the land speed record at Daytona Beach, Florida. So there you go.
Good grief. What year?
27. Over 200 miles an hour, yeah. 29, the Stanley Cup Final, Madison Square Garden. Boston Bruins defeat the New York Rangers 2-1 in a 2-0 series sweep. Boston's first championship. Congratulations. 29 as well, U.S. President Herbert Hoover had the first telephone installed on the desk at the Oval Office in the White House.
Oh, man.
So it's a really grainy picture, but there it is right there. There's that telephone.
Yeah.
The very first one.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Now, I want to, it's telling me to image search this because there's a picture here that provides a little tidbit of information that I never knew. The first telephone installed in the Oval Office, President Herbert Hoover's desk. Prior to this, the president utilized a telephone from a booth outside the Oval Office. So he actually, he actually had to go outside the office.
You telling me they had phones available and they couldn't get one on his desk?
Well, now they do. Well,
are you kidding me?
Yeah. 34. The Bank of Travail in Belgium, socialist workers' movement went bankrupt. What a surprise. 36. 1,000 people watched the 200-inch mirror blank passing through Indianapolis. So they were watching it being transported and everything.
Blank?
A mirror blank, like before they shaved it down and all that stuff. It's just, they manufactured the blank for the mirror or whatever, and they're transporting it to wherever it's going and all that stuff. Because you don't want to transport it after it's all nice and polished.
Right.
Because then you're going to have to polish it again. It's going to scrape somewhere, inevitably, So, and like even today, watching something that's 200 inches being transported, it'll draw a crowd. Probably not 10,000 people, but, that's pretty cool. We also have Nazi propaganda claim 99% of Germans voted for Nazi candidates. Sure. 36 as well, the 36th German parliamentary election and referendum seek the approval for the recent remilitarization of the Rhineland. Here we go. 41, the North American regional broadcasting agreements went into effect at 3 o'clock local time. I guess America.
I wonder what they agreed on.
Yeah. North American Regional Broadcasting Agreement. You know what? I'm just going to look up the entire article here really quick. So let's see here. North American Regional Broadcasting Agreement refers to a series of international treaties that defined technical standards for AM band medium wave radio stations. These agreements also addressed how frequency assignments were distributed among the signatories, with special emphasis on high-powered, clear channels. So it's radio stuff.
So, that I knew. But I guess the FM band was later.
Yeah, AM was first, and then FM was later. The initial NARBA band plan, also known as the Havana Treaty, was signed by the United States, Canada, Mexico, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti on December 13th, 1937, and took effect on March 29th, 1941.
That's that whole area.
Yeah. So, if you want to read more about this, N-A-R-B-A, NARBA. Okay, NARBA. So look out for NARBA in the underbar section. 1942, bombing of Lubeck in World War II was the first major success for the Royal Air Force bomber campaign against Germany and a German city.
So that was England's first success.
Yep.
Okay.
42, British cruiser. Well, we weren't in for another 2 years.
Right. No.
Actually, no, we were in. Pearl Harbor was 41.
Well, when did we actually get to Europe, though? Pearl Harbor was December of 41.
Yeah, but by this, we'd be in Africa. No, we'd be in Africa. By now.
You think? Within a few months?
Well, when...
December, January, February, March?
When did U.S.
Enter
Africa campaign, World War II? North African campaign, yada yada. June 11th, 1940. No, that's not right.
No.
Well, no. I guess volunteers were there. So,
yeah, well, we had, I remember in the movie.
Yeah.
The guy volunteered in Europe to be a fighter pilot.
You're talking about Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he volunteered for the RAF.
That wouldn't officially be in it. You can't put that in there because that's not.
Well, no, that's just the North African campaign. The French and the British were fighting there before we were there.
Yeah, but they're saying we got into it in 1940.
No.
We officially got into it in 1940.
No. Hold on a second. World War II North African campaign. See, this is just saying the North African campaign. This is not saying the U.S.'s involvement.
Oh, okay.
This is just the whole shebang.
Okay, that's different.
So, yeah. But I don't know exactly when we got boots on the ground over there, but that's going to require some digging. 42, British cruiser HMS Trinidad torpedoed itself in the Barents Sea. How do you... What? How do you torpedo yourself? What? It's it goes out, how did they outrun it and intercept it, or did it make a U-turn? How do you torpedo yourself? How is that possible?
That is absolutely wild.
Yeah. She was lost while serving in the Arctic on convoy duty after being damaged escorting the British Arctic convoy. It torpedoed itself. So, weird. What else do we got here? 1943, meat, 784 grams per week, or 2 kilograms for GIs. Butter and cheese were rationed in the U.S. during World War II. So, if you're a civilian, you're limited to 784 grams of meat a week, and if you're a soldier, then you got 2 kilograms for GIs, for general issues.
According to, I believe it would be my mom or my dad, I'm not sure which. It had to be my mom. I remember it was my mom telling me that butter and all that was rationed, but there was plenty of it, and so you could get it without your tickets.
Yeah.
Easily. But the point being, they wanted everybody to feel involved in the war.
What we need to do, and I got to do my due diligence research, but all of those things that Mom had from her childhood, all of her food, we got to give those to a museum.
Do we know where they're at?
We'll find them. But there's so much in this house that we got to give to museums. But I want to make sure they're good museums and they're not woke. They won't just throw our donations away because we're white or whatever. So much hate in this world now. 1945 movies.
You may have given those to Aunt Pam.
Probably, but I'm sure we have them in this house somewhere. 1945 movie star James Stewart promoted to full colonel, one of the few United States citizens to rise from private to colonel in 4 years.
Now you know who James Stewart is, right?
Well, yeah, now I do. The guy from
Wonderful Life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which he did that after the war, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the first things he did after he came back, after the war.
And he was a pilot. He flew.
Yeah.
45, during World War II, last day of the V-1 flying bomb attacks on England. We covered that yesterday. Loons time! You remember what I said earlier? Are you...
I'm gone.
No?
I'm gone.
1946, first test cricket between Australia and New Zealand. We also have Australian cricket bowlers Bill O'Reilly, 5-14, and Ernie Toshak, 4-12. Rout New Zealand for 42 and 1 off test in Wellington. Test debuted of greats Ray Lindwall, Keith Miller, and Don Talon. Wow. So that's actually a substantial article there. 46 as well, Instituto Tecnológico Autónomo de Mexico, one of Mexico's leading universities, was founded. Cool. Institution of Higher Learning. 47, the Malagasy uprising against French colonial rule began in Madagascar. Now remember, a week or so ago, I brought up that map of when the English sentences discovered they own 1/5 of the world's landmass or whatever, and I showed that map.
Oh yeah.
And then I showed that other map that showed Spain's and France's.
Yeah.
And then I was surprised that France had Madagascar.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. A revolt beginning in Madagascar against France.
Yeah.
So, 1949, Turkey recognized Israel. Okay. 51, U.S. citizens Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. Do those names sound familiar?
Yes,
Yeah, there you go. Were convicted and sentenced to death for conspiracy to commit espionage for the Soviet Union.
Yep.
Were they executed? No, I hope they were.
I believe they were.
Yes, they were. Thank goodness. Oh. You know, you're a traitor to your people. You deserve nothing but pain. 51 hypnosis murders in Copenhagen. What? What the hell is it? Did they hypnotize people to murder themselves? Like, you know, like what is Copenhagen hypnosis murders? They were a double murder case in connection with a failed bank robbery that happened in Denmark on March 29th in 51. After extensive police, psychiatric, and psychological investigations and the ensuing trial proceedings, 2 people were convicted of the murders. So, this is wild. Hold on a second. When Hardup committed the robbery, he shot one of the bank's cashiers and then the branch manager. Hardup then fled by bicycle to a nearby street and entered a building. Several eyewitnesses went in after him, and the police were directed to a stairwell where Hardup had tried to hide. He quickly surrendered. But where's the hypnosis part? So, I don't have the time to schedule this. So, hypnosis murders. If you could, you audience member, if you can tell us in the comments section, why are these called hypnosis murders? Like, were they hypnotized into murdering, or did they try to hypnotize people to forget that they were the committers of the crime? Like, what happened? 1957, the New York, Ontario, and Western Railway made its final run, the first major U.S. railroad to be abandoned in its entirety. Wow.
All the way.
Yeah. 61, its 23rd Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified, allowing Washington, D.C. residents to vote in presidential elections. So yeah, we've spoken about this before. Like, it wasn't until much later before residents of the capital itself can actually have a voice. Isn't that ridiculous?
Well, even today,
yeah.
If you live in Washington, D.C., you have no representation in the House or the Senate.
Because it's not a state.
It's not a state.
It's a District of Columbia.
And for the life of me, I don't know why they don't take all of the land and pinpoint it right around the federal buildings, but everybody that lives right up to it, make it into the states that are surrounding it. Easy deal to do. I don't know why they don't do that.
Well, the reason, I believe is because, I was watching some video or something, and there was, a one-off line that I heard, but it sunk deep with me, and it was talking about how, if the capital was actually in a state, how many other, older nations, in the UK, their capital is in, their main city and all that stuff, Paris, France, all that stuff. The United States with DC and everything, the very concept and everything behind its functionality, is to disable the ability of local government to influence federal. So if Washington D.C. was in a state, it would have to abide by state rules, so the state could start superseding the federal because it's within its jurisdiction,
the
or something.
Always supersedes.
Not if it's
always supersedes states. So
not if it's within a state. It's so convoluted. It's hard to explain.
Anyways, the Dems want to make it 52nd state.
No, well, of course they do, because they want
they
it.
Get 2 extra seats. And all that.
Of course, freaking. The the Democratic Party of the United States of America is a terrorist organization. They always have been. Yes.
It's a History Channel. I don't.
That is history. That absolutely is history. They always have been a terrorist organization, and they need to be recognized as such to stop the bullshit. If we're gonna live peacefully today, we have to learn of the mistakes of yesterday. That's the whole point. It's history. 61, after a 4.5-year trial, Nelson Mandela was acquitted of treason in Pretoria.
Yahoo.
Yep. 1962, Argentine President Arturo Frondizi fled from the army. Arturo Frondizi, the president of Argentina, was overthrown in a military coup by Argentina's armed forces, ending in an 11.5-day constitutional crisis. That's not good. 62, Jack Parr's final appearance on The Tonight Show.
Oh, yeah.
I threw that in for you. There's a couple in here, actually. I threw it in here for you. 1963, final episode of soap opera Young Dr. Malone. Does that sound familiar at all?
No, I never watched soap operas.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering,
I've heard of...
did Grandma like it, or anything like that?
I don't know. I never talked to anybody about the Young Dr. Malone. Never heard of it. Now, I have heard of the other big ones. Never seen them, but I've heard of them. I can't even... General Hospital's one.
And Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives.
That's one of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
66, Muhammad Ali beat George Chuvalo in 15 rounds for heavyweight boxing title.
George who?
Chuvalo?
Okay. No,
Like-
I don't know him. Yeah.
68, students seized building at Bowie, Maryland State College. Why? Because of Vietnam? 68, like, sounds about right.
Could be.
Like, one of these sit-ins or something.
Who knows what else? So.
We also have the funeral of Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space,
Ooh.
at least, on record. It was started in Moscow with thousands of people in attendance. And there are theories out there that there's somebody who might have been in space before Yuri Gagarin, but they didn't make it. So Russia covered that up, the Soviets, because, they can't have a failure tarnish.
They don't want a black eye.
Yeah. But there's this audio, and they believe it was a woman, because it's very hard to let's see here if I can even find it. Audio of Soviet woman in space.
To this day, they still wouldn't give us the black eye, but I'd like them to fess up of all that stuff. I'd like to know, just for history.
Okay, final words of Soviets. Yeah, final words of Soviet female cosmonaut lost in space. So let's see if I can.
Is she the first?
They believe, because this happened before Yuri Gagarin. Well, I'm gonna add this here.
Yeah, please do.
Let's see here. Woman in space. Let's just title it that. Is that I don't know.
Yeah.
Woman in space. Okay. But yeah, if my memory serves me correctly, she was up there before Yuri, and the only reason why we know is that somehow that audio was leaked, and that was supposedly before Yuri, and she burnt up on re-entry, and they tried to bury everything, but we have that audio. 69, the Communist New People's Army was founded in the Philippines. That sounds concerning. 71, First Lieutenant William J. Calley Jr. was found guilty in the My Lai massacre of Vietnam. He convicted of premeditated murder and sentenced to life in prison. We all know about the My Lai massacre.
Is that when they went into the village and killed everybody?
One of the times, yeah. 71 as well, Chilean President Allende nationalized banks and copper mines. We also have Conrad van M.D. Boas became West Europe's first sexology professor. Wow. Okay. Sounds like a job for Glenn Quagmire if there ever was one. 71, development of a serum hepatitis vaccine for children was announced. So like a serum, like a drink or something, whatever. 73, Operation Barrel Roll, a covert U.S. bombing campaign in Laos to stop communist infiltration of South Vietnam was ended. And at the same time, the U.S. troops left Vietnam 9 years after Tonkin Resolution. The last United States combat soldiers left South Vietnam.
The interesting thing there is that photo.
Yeah.
Just look at that to scale.
The helicopters? Yeah.
How many helicopters were in that war? The scale of that war was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. And we lost.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are once again, they're comparing, because they did it. Every war that we've had since Vietnam, the media always says, oh, is this going to be the new Vietnam? Operation Desert Storm, Operation Enduring Freedom, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Iran again today, and, now there's things happening that really make me question stuff. And, I don't know, it's not going to end well for anybody. 74, Chinese farmers discovered the Terracotta army near Xi'an. 8,000 clay warrior statues buried to guard the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, in the Shaanxi province in China. And here's
74?
97. They discovered it.
Wow, I didn't know it was that late.
Yeah. No, it was a farmer. He was just out plowing his fields, and he hit the head of a terracotta soldier or whatever, as the story goes. Yeah. And then he told authorities, and eventually, because all of this used to be farmland. So
they started digging, found more and more and more and more.
They found horses and everything, and each soldier's face is different. They modeled it after the actual soldiers that were alive back then.
Your cousin got to go there for a private showing.
Lucky gun! Wow. We talking about the engineer guy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hope he never went back to China. So.
Oh, he hasn't recently. He went a number of times.
Yeah, well, he needs to stay out because
Now he does.
They will hold him as a political hostage, definitely these days. 1974, the film adaptation of The Great Gatsby, starring Robert Redford and Mia Farrow, with costumes by Ralph Lauren, was first released. And I have yet to see the Great Gatsby, the recent one with what's his face from the Titanic.
I don't know.
I don't remember his name.
I haven't seen this one either.
74, Mariner 10's first flyby of Mercury returned photos. I'm gonna look that up here really quick. Okay, we're not at the Vasco da Gama Bridge yet, so let's see here. Let's see if it shows us images. Here we go. There's images of Mariner 10. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love this. Okay, tell me what you see.
I see, I assume, a moon or a asteroid or something with a lot of pock marks on it.
Well, no, this is Mercury. This is Mariner 10.
Oh, okay.
But
yes,
but do you see anything interesting?
What? Just tell me.
These are a bunch of different photos stitched together. Look at the shade,
that's
the
what I'm
lines.
seeing there.
The lines.
Oh,
So
okay.
if it flew by, it took a bunch, as they do the same with Earth.
Yeah.
Then they stitch them all together.
Okay.
You can see right here how it's all jagged at the bottom here.
Yeah.
You can see how it's all jagged at the top here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't see the top part of it.
Yeah.
I saw the lines in there. I'm trying to figure out what that is.
I saw that right here, and I'm like, oh, I gotta. Actually, it looks like they did the same here. Open image and new tab. Not really. Well, you kind of see different lines. I'm not sure, but that other one is very telling. What else do we got here? 75, Lady Marmalade by LaBelle reached #1 on U.S. singles charts. Does that sound familiar at all? Threw that in for
I
you.
know the singer,
Oh, okay, LaBelle?
Laddie Nabelle or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 1976, 48th Academy Awards. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It starred Jack Nicholson and Louis Fletcher, and director Milos Forman won. That movie is why asylums went under and everything, and why we have so many crazy people just walking the streets now. You know, a lot of these people could get a lobotomy, and the world would be a much better place for it. 76, 8 Ohio National Guardsmen were indicted for shooting 4 Kent State University students in 1970. So that was the one, when they were all protesting the famous photo.
Killed.
Yeah. There's this one section of.
Why'd you put that photo in there?
I thought about it. There's this one section of the Watchmen intro. I understand and wish to proceed. I just want to play this one section here really quick if I can find it. Where is it? Here it is. Wow. I've had that scene, in one of my earlier shows years ago and everything, and that is words cannot explain how profound, those few seconds right there were. Like, the flower and then just shoots her. Yikes. 78 variety TV show The Carol Burnett Show last aired on CBS in the U.S., having won 25 Emmys. Wow.
That show, it was a comedy show, right?
Carol Burnett Show. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, it was. And you look some they do all these different skits, and they would all start laughing.
Huh.
They're all laughing at each other while they're doing this skit. They couldn't hold back.
And
it's really funny to see that.
79, Andrew Hilditch was handled the ball versus Pakistan at Waka.
What the heck is that?
It's something to do with cricket. But,
of course.
I don't know. 79 as well, Carol Churchill's Cloud 9 premiered in London. Remember that song? It sounds something that you remember, Cloud 9.
Remember.
Delhi defeated Karnataka by 399 runs to win cricket's Ranji Trophy. 81, Jorge Rafael Videla resigned as president and dictator of Argentina, handing the reins to Roberto Viola. All right. 82, Delhi 707 beats Karnataka 705 in first innings to win Ranji Trophy. Has to be more cricket there. 82, the Canada Act of 1982 received the royal assent from Queen Elizabeth II, setting the stage for the Queen of Canada to proclaim the Constitution Act 1982. '84, NFL Baltimore Colts moved to Indianapolis.
Yep.
The Baltimore Colts loaded its possessions onto 15 Mayflower moving trucks in the early morning hours and transferred its operations to Indianapolis.
No one knew they were leaving.
Oh, wow. '85, Wayne Gretzky broke his own NHL season record with 126 assists. All right, I'm going to see if we have any comments here. Nothing on Rumble, anything on YouTube? No, that's not the YouTube section. There we go. '86, records by the Beatles went on sale in Russia more than 2 decades after their release in the West. So 20 years.
Jeez.
Wow. AO's time, but we're going to move up to '88 here. U.S. Congress discontinued aid to Nicaraguan Contras. Good. '89 as well. First Soviet hockey players were permitted to play for the NHL. Cool.
Oh, okay.
We also have the first U.S. private commercial rocket-made suborbital test flight at White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. Thus began the birth of, SpaceX and Richard Branson's attempt at that. Yeah.
What did he do? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he tried to get up into space as well. And then, what's his face of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, got up there
He
too.
also tried to go around the world in a balloon. That didn't work.
Yeah, but we have covered people going around the world in a balloon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's his name? Did?
Richard Branson?
Yeah.
Yeah. '89, I.M. Pie's pyramidal entrance to the renovated Louvre Museum opened in Paris, France. We covered that yesterday. Michael Milken, junk bond king, was indicted in New York for racketeering.
Yeah.
Racketeering is securities fraud in an insider trading investigation.
Yeah.
1990, the Czechoslovak parliament was unable to reach an agreement on what to call the country after the fall of communism, sparking the so-called hyphen war. So, Czechoslovak,
Herzegovina, wasn't it, or whatever it is?
Herzegovina?
Yeah. And then
Maybe.
They put them together.
Oh yeah, the Czech Republic. Well, no, there's the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Or Herzog. I don't know.
I forget what the two are. One of them's Herzegovina, whatever
Yeah.
it is. I think it's Czechoslovakia, Herzegovina.
Well, there's Chechnya, there's Slovakia.
Chechnya maybe was it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. 1994, Serbs and Croats signed a ceasefire to end the war in Croatia. Good. 96, Cleveland Browns choose a new name for the relocated team, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
97, the first game at Turner Field in Atlanta, Braves defeated the Yanks 2-0, exhibition game. A preseason exhibition game there. 98, Vasco da Gama Road Bridge opened in Lisbon, Portugal, as the longest bridge in Europe. I'm wondering if it's still the longest bridge in Europe, but judging by this, I mean, it just goes into the
Why didn't
horizon.
tell you how long?
Look at that. Yeah, that is a good point. They didn't tell me how long. So, Vasco da Gama Bridge. Let's see here. Well, it's not telling me how long here. 6 road lanes. So that's cool. Let's see. Total length, 10.7 miles. Or 17.2 kilometers. All right.
Long bridge.
That is a long bridge. 1999, Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 10,000 for the first time ever at 10,006.78 during the height of the dot-com bubble. We also have a magnitude 6.8 earthquake in India, struck the Chamaloi district in Uttar Pradesh, killing 103. 2002, in reaction to the Passover massacre 2 days prior, Israel launched Operation Defensive Shield against Palestinian militants, its largest military operation in the West Bank since the 1967 Six-Day War. Now, I'm not saying one thing or the other, but what I am saying is, what if, the Passover massacre was a false flag attack, to give Israel the validation to take more land from Palestine? Like the U.S. did that all the time. Pearl Harbor, Gulf of Tonkin, whatever it was. They got us to the Spanish-American War, 9/11, like the Lusitania. There's so many things that our own country has done that's been proven that we outright lied to get us involved into a war for our benefits. Who's to say that Israel wouldn't do the same? Hasn't done the same. They are invading, so... 2004, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia joined NATO as full members. NATO needs to be dissolved. We also have in 2004, the Republic of Ireland became the first country in the world to ban smoking in all workplaces, including bars and restaurants. That I can understand. For health reasons and everything, you don't want smoke lingering around. But then you got to have designated smoking areas, So, or vaping areas, or I guess in some cases smoking areas. So. 2005, "We Belong Together" single was released by Mariah Carey. Got the Grammy Awards for Best Rhythm and Blues Song and Best Female R&B Vocal Performance 2006. Billboard Song of the Year 2005. 2005, the Walt Disney Company and Miramax Film co-founders Harvey Weinstein and Bob Weinstein announced they will not renew the brothers' management agreement when it expired in September. Now one of them is rotting in jail and should actually honestly be executed. Why the hell are we paying money to house a legitimate pedophile? Execute his ass.
Before he was exposed to what he was doing.
Well, yes, but I'm saying now
in that industry knew what he was doing.
Oh, I'm not saying we knew back then.
Yeah.
I'm saying now we know, and now he's been convicted.
Yeah.
But why are we giving him jail time? In him, I don't want my tax dollars feeding, going to feed, to feed, house, and clothe his ass. I want him gone. 2007, Rihanna released her hit single "Umbrella," featuring Jay-Z, went on to number 1 on U.S. Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks. It sounds familiar, "Umbrella." I gotta listen to it again. 2010, archaeological site of the Mayan city of Chichen Itza was purchased by the Mexican state of Yucatan from a private landowner. And Chichen Itza, I believe that's the one that they're covering over entirely with cement. They're burying it. They don't want people to look at it. And I think it has ties to Israel. I think somebody from Israel is the private person that they're talking about. So
I know nothing about it.
I know very little, but 2010, 2 female self-deletion bombers hit the Moscow metro system at the peak of the morning rush hour, killing 40.
Wow.
So it's not just men who do that, females do it too. 2013, Soyuz TMA-08M set a new record of 6 hours in orbit before docking with the International Space Station. Is that fast or slow? I think it's fast. Between getting up there and being in orbit and then docking, I think 6 hours is fast because you have to catch up to it,
I can't
align,
imagine it being anything but fast.
So there has to be the speed record. 2013, UN regulation of international arms trade was blocked by North Korea, Iran, and Syria. Why the hell are they in the UN? These are terrorist states. So, 2014, the first homo/queer couples married in the UK as a result of the passing of the Marriage Same-Sex Couples Act of 2013. England and Wales were performed. And I only call them that because they want to be called. To me, queer seems like an incredibly derogatory term, but it's in LGBT. That's what the Q stands for in LGBTQT. Yeah. So if it's all right with them, then I guess they want to be called queer again, which actually the actual definition of that word is strange. So they want me to call them strange. Fine, I'll call them strange. But I will not call them gay because gay means happy. I will not call them lesbians because that's women only. I'm gonna call them, in one giant stroke, homosexuals. It just makes things easier. 2015 ICC Men's Cricket ODI World Cup, Melbourne MCG. Australia won their 4th title with 7-wicket win over New Zealand. 101 balls remaining. Player of the match, James Falconer of Australia. 3 out of 36. 101 balls remaining. That's a lot of balls just floating around being remaining. So
you've got way too many horse races in this thing today.
2015, Air Canada Flight 624 skidded off the runway at Halifax Stansfield International Airport after arriving from Toronto shortly past midnight. All 133 passengers and 5 crew members on board survived, with 23 treated for minor injuries. A very rare case of a complete miracle.
Skidded off, so they had a shot.
Yeah.
But still, nobody died? Wow.
Yeah. So, 2017, Ivanka Trump, at the age of 35, assumed an unpaid position as senior advisor to the president, Donald Trump, her father. I find this bullshit. As in, I find it not right that she can have an unpaid job when anyone else is mandated by law. If I can't come and work for you for free, then she should not be able to as well. But under other federal law, I cannot do that. If I work for you, I have to be.
You can volunteer for all kinds of things.
No, you can't. Between federal and state law, it's ironclad. You have to be paid somewhere, something. Unless you have, state legalized, you're allowed to volunteer. But I know, and this is why I never pursued, working for you or any of that. I have to be on the payroll if I was going to work. I cannot volunteer for you.
Well, you'll be
So-
happy to know she has nothing to do with it this term.
Well,
Her husband's very involved. He's doing negotiation. Him and another guy doing all the negotiation with Iran and the Abraham Accords. They are really active in trying to get peace around the
yeah.
world.
But what I'm saying is we got to stop with this bullshit. Rules for thee, not for me. No. 2017, man's body was found inside a 7-meter long reticulated python in Sulawesi, Indonesia. He got 8.
Wow.
Yeah. 2017 as well, UK Prime Minister Theresa May sent a letter to the EU invoking Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, formally triggering Brexit. According to other source, Prime Minister Theresa May invoked Article 50 of the Treaty of European Union, formally beginning the United Kingdom's withdrawal from the European Union. We also have Brandon accused of inappropriate kiss by fellow Democrat Lucy Flores in 2019. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. 2021, megaship Ever Given was freed after nearly a week stuck in and blocking the Suez Canal, with at least 369 vessels waiting to pass through.
Yeah.
And that was so obviously done intentionally to create even more of a problem worldwide, because people weren't falling for the Kung Flu bullshit. So they had to cause even more problems. Trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin for the supposed murder of George Floyd began in Minneapolis on this date in 2021, even though the toxicology report proves that this Saint Fentanyl was a dead man walking long before, Chauvin...
You're not reading that, are you?
No, I'm just saying that. No.
I couldn't believe that was in the article.
No, look into it. I'm telling you, you guys out there watching this, do your due diligence. Don't believe anything what I have to say. Use me, if anything, as a stepping stone to pursue your own path of self-education. But the toxicology, whatever, that report says that, Saint Fentanyl here was a dead man walking.
The only thing I can say about that is there was so much public outcry in that area and across the country that he had to be convicted. And that is not a fair trial.
It's absolutely not a fair trial. They only did it because he was white.
I have no idea.
It was a hate crime against white people.
Because they had to convict him.
I mean, first off, the knee on the neck, it was not on the neck. It was on the upper back as per police procedure. He was not doing anything special. And let's not forget, Chauvin knew George Floyd, and he was there because George Floyd tried to use a counterfeit $20 bill at a convenience store.
Before.
He was responding to that crime.
Yeah.
And even before that, Saint Fentanyl put a loaded gun on the belly of a pregnant woman. And people are going to say he's a good guy?
No, he's not a good guy.
No, absolutely not. So, 2022 BA.2 version of Omicron was now the dominant form of COVID or Kung Flu in United States, according to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. And they're still trying to push this bullshit. Everybody was, we weren't buying the Kung Flu bullshit anymore, so they had to come out. The Omicron. Stay fear.
New strain.
Yeah, every few months they're coming up with a new strain. They're always trying to push more of this.
Shots you can get.
Yeah. 2022 as well, in a major victory for Ukraine, Russia announced it's withdrawing its badly mauled forces from around Ukraine's capital in Kiev. We also have a new study of Pluto found evidence of cryovolcanoes and ice lava from NASA's New Horizon footage 2015. You were talking to me about this the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if these are marked here, but this looks like it was circled. But the rest of these, I don't know what this is.
I don't know.
Is this what it actually looked like?
I was just referring to ice volcanoes. I don't know. I never saw pictures of it.
Yeah. Well, no, this is what, I think that's what this is. They're circling an ice volcano.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if they went in post-production, put these blue markers here to show active ice volcano activity, or if this is what it actually looks like. But then again, what's this circle here? That's weird.
Yeah.
So, what else we got here? The U.S. Food and Drug Administration authorized a second Pfizer or Moderna booster shot for people over 50 or immune uncompromised. They just want to kill all the old people. 2022 as well, Brandon signed the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act into law, making lynching a federal hate crime after over 200 attempts to pass similar legislation since 1900. I can't believe that nothing ever passed until then. This sounds like...
Why now? What's the need of
I
that?
don't know. This sounds like liberal bullshit and propaganda to try to make themselves seem like the saviors. You know how they...
Illegal to lynch. No kidding.
Yeah. 2023, researchers warn crucial deep Antarctic ocean currents could collapse by 42% by 2050, stopping nutrient-dense water from flowing north, accelerating ice melt and further warming the world's oceans. This sounds more like liberal propaganda. UK King Charles III in 2023 made his first state visit abroad to Germany, arriving in Berlin. So this is after the Queen's death. You know, now that Britain has a king again. So.
Oh, yeah.
And last but not least, this time last year, the New York Yankees' Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, and Aaron Judge hit home runs on the first 3 pitches from Milwaukee Brewers' Nestor Cortes, the start of franchise record 9 homers and 20-9 win at Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
I'm sure he's not pitching anymore. He fed them. So, and hey, look at that. We made it right on our hour right there. That shall conclude the show for today. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion between 2 sources. This past hour that we've gone through, it's only from 2 sources, and we only went through 30 to 40% of everything. It's up to you to find the artifacts of our past, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside of what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own, and find a better way to be better to one another. I'm okay, you're okay.
Absolutely
Yeah.
right.
For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you are you. Check the underbar. Until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles. I'm all over the place today. Do we have any comments?